So from beginner, you can opt for any beginner-friendly platform. I would suggest either HackerRank or GeeksforGeeks. You just follow a particular sheet. Nowadays, many DSA sheets are available, be it from Lovebubber 450 DSA sheet, Striver DSA sheet, and I think now Erstwhile has also launched a sheet. So you can follow any sheet and do the questions of data structures topic-wise. And you can submit it on practice section of the GeeksforGeeks and see where your which test case fails. So like this, you just have to go from easy, medium, and then hard questions of data structures and algorithms of each and every topic.
Hi everyone, good evening. How are you all? I hope you all are doing very well. I am Tanya from GeeksforGeeks and I will be the host for today's session. For today's session, I am really pleased to welcome Miss Tanya Gupta, who is an upcoming SDE at Microsoft, and she has also worked as a technology analyst intern at Morgan Stanley. Hi Tanya.
Hello Dhwani, thanks for having me on stage.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What about you?
I'm good too. I have to say, when I read your profile, I was feeling so privileged to be able to talk to you personally. I mean, your profile is worth noting. I mean, it's great to have you here. So before getting into the actual talking of the session, let's just have a brief introduction. Kindly introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Tanya Gupta. I'm a computer engineering student from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology in my 8th semester. So I'm currently doing my software engineering internship at Morgan Stanley, and I'm soon going to be joining Microsoft as a full-time software engineer. So yeah, this is about me.
So is this your first job? Like, is this your first software engineering job?
No, I have other offers as well for full-time software engineers, like from United Health Group and Arcesium as well.
Okay, so it's your first full-time working job, like after an internship.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, getting a first job at Microsoft, that's amazing. So how I would just like to, like I and personally and all the people in the audience would like to know about your personal experience. Like, how was it transitioning from a college to, like a full-time working professional?
Okay, so my experience has been really good. I started coding from in the middle of my second year, not very too early. So I had to put in a lot of time and efforts to hold the rope in my hand eventually. So the coding journey was a little bit tough, but Geeks4Geeks and some other coding platforms really helped me to get that grip. And soon when I felt comfortable in coding, so the journey became really easy from transitioning to a student to an actual developer in some really cool corporate companies.
Right. So I often hear people asking about what are the important tech stacks that a person should focus on, like when they are preparing for interviews or for cracking the exams. So which tech stack do you think is the most important one?
First of all, your data structures and algorithms are the most important one when you are targeting any tech interview. Apart from it, you must have some development experience, either in terms of your Android development or web development, or you can also opt for machine learning as well. Like you must have some real hands-on experience of development, which is actually implemented in the industry. Because data structures is not something you'll actually be using in the company. Your your Android development will actually be used when you join a company. But for targeting any tech interview, data structures and algorithms are the most important. Apart from it, I would say CS fundamentals are equally important as well.
Right. So which development stack did you work on when you were preparing?
Okay, so I worked on web development. Like I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then some React frameworks. So Node.js. So I was more into web development kind of thing.
So how did you transition from a web developer to a software engineering intern?
Uh, so to transition into a software engineer intern, you have to crack the interview. which basically involves data structures and algorithms the most. So you
Right.
have to be very good in data structures like arrays, strings, the basic data structures. Uh, so you can use any platform, Geeks for Geeks. You can use your practice sections to do your data structures and algorithms. So mainly data structures and algorithms is the most important one. Apart from it, your computer science fundamentals are the important. So yeah.
Right. So when you were applying for various opportunities, I'm sure you must have applied a lot of places and you have got a lot of offers. So what are the entry level jobs at your current company and the company you have offers with?
Okay, so the entry level jobs are for software engineer. You can also work as analyst in some company. That is also a kind of software engineer role, but for in financial companies, the software engineer term is usually uh, coined as analyst. So I think in the tech field, analyst jobs, software engineer jobs, your QA jobs, your development engineer jobs are, I think, the entry level jobs for any fresher.
Right. So with your internship at Morgan Stanley, like which year did you apply for it and what was the roadmap to applying for it?
Okay. So in 2021, I applied for Morgan Stanley off campus. So without any referral. So I got the test link for it. And then after test, when I got shortlisted for interviews, the process went on ahead.
So test was mostly DSA, right?
Yeah, it included debugging questions, some MCQs, some aptitude and data structures and algorithms, coding questions.
Okay. I mean, I myself am a college student, so that's why I have a lot of questions as a follow up. I mean, I myself am looking for internships, and like being able to talk to you right now is like an eye opening session because I actually get to know the basic routes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I'm asking. I mean, a lot of the tests and the like company tests are like this only. First, they take the aptitude, then they take the
Mhm.
psychometrics, and then they move on to DSA. Right. So I know you have explained it a lot, but in clear, crisp words, if you have to explain your route for cracking the exams and interviews, how would you explain it?
Okay. So first of all, I'm assuming anyone who is listening this webinar, he is a beginner. So from beginner, you can opt for any beginner-friendly platform. I would suggest either HackerRank or Geeks for Geeks. You just follow a particular sheet. Nowadays, many DSA sheets are available, be it from Lovebubber 450 DSA sheet, Striver DSA sheet, and I think now Arshpal has also launched a sheet. So you can follow any sheet and do the questions of data structures topic wise, and you can submit it on practice section of the Geeks for Geeks, and see where your test case, which test case fails. So like this, you just have to go from easy, medium, and then hard questions of data structures and algorithms of each and every topic. I think uh, when you're targeting any tech interview, the advanced data structures are not necessary. When you are a fresher, like tries or AVL trees, red black trees, you can just go for basic data structures up till graphs, trees, graphs.
Okay.
And then you also have to prepare for your computer science fundamentals. There is a section of computer science fundamentals on Geeks for Geeks portal. It has all the most important questions that have been asked in various companies, so you can refer that. And also in some companies, puzzles are also asked, like in American Express, Goldman Sachs. Puzzles are also the important thing that you have to take into consideration. And then come your projects. You must have 2 3 good projects on your resume which depicts your actual development skill, which you will be implementing in real life, like in the real corporate tech world. So I think all these would help you in targeting any or cracking any tech interview of any good company.
Right. I mean, that explains a lot. I mean, in simple words, you have explained a lot of things. So, what was the most overwhelming and the difficult part of your preparation journey, and how did you overcome it?
The most difficult part was whenever I had to submit a question on any coding question. Initially, there were a lot of difficulties in submitting that question because some or the other test case fails on some areas. So it takes time. Sometimes I have spent even 5 to 6 hours on one question. So initially, you have to be patient, you have to be consistent. So that is one overcoming thing that you need to take into consideration. Apart from it, also, you have to manage your time. You have to balance between your data structures, your CS fundamentals, and your development skills, because all the three parts constitute your interview almost equally. So, yeah, balancing your time and just keep on applying for off campus opportunities as well. Make some good connections on LinkedIn, ask for referrals, and build a good LinkedIn profile because sometimes recruiters reach you via LinkedIn. So make a good LinkedIn profile. That has helped me a lot in my career personally.
Right. So, how does a referral system work? I mean, you get some referral from a person who is working at the company. That's how it works.
Yes, for any role, you can reach out to any person in that company, not importantly only the software engineers. You can reach out to anyone. But referrals do not guarantee interview. They would just queue up your application at front. But it is only your resume or your profile that would actually matter, that would help you in getting the actual interview opportunity. So referrals do not always guarantee interview.
Right. So, which websites or blogs did you refer to while you were finding job?
So LinkedIn is the most important and the most famous one. Uh, Apart from it, there is Naukri.com, there is InstaShire. So a lot many websites, but personally, I have only referred LinkedIn, and a lot of recruiters reach me on LinkedIn only.
Right. So, as you stated, LinkedIn profile is very important. What are some tips to, make your LinkedIn profile worth, like worth noticing?
Okay, so first of all, make some really good connections. Like whichever company you are dreaming to work for, make connections of with people in that company, and uh, always get aware like what is going on this in this tech industry. Secondly, put your achievements, whatever development you have learned, or any certificate of yours, or any achievement in terms of scholarship of some company. Just brag it on your LinkedIn because recruiter will judge you based on that. So I think this sums up all for any good LinkedIn profile.
Right. So, what are the sources that you used for studying and preparing? Like some books that you really referred or the websites?
Okay. So one book that I would like to refer is that I would like to suggest to the audience is Cracking the Coding Interview. It is a really good book which will make you clear about how an actual interview goes on. Uh, and then I would suggest Geeks for Geeks. You can read blogs on Geeks for Geeks, solutions on Geeks for Geeks, and then you can use their practice section. You can use their puzzle section for preparing the puzzles, and also the CS fundamentals. Then you can refer to Love Bubber's 450 DSA sheet. I did my coding questions from there only. It has almost all the important coding questions that are asked in almost every company, the top-notch companies as well. So these were the resources.
Right. So, from a college student to an actual full-time working professional, I'm sure you faced a lot of, like problems that might have caused you to think like this might not be the field for me. So, like, how did you overcome that? What kept you motivated through it all?
So transitioning from a college student to full-time software engineering intern, uh, I was more into coding questions in my college. Like I used to do competitive programming more than the development. But when you enter a company, you only have to do development and you have to make softwares. So that switch was really a little bit hard for me because I was not into development that much. And but I knew that this is the actual thing that makes you a software engineer. Only the development and making softwares, making some really good scalable softwares. So that idea in my mind motivated me to learn more. So I learn, I think, each and every day some new thing from my team, from my manager, how to be a good software engineer. And I think this learning curve goes on, and it's never ending.
Right. So, what is the most interesting part of your current job?
The most interesting part, I would say, is interacting with the real software engineers and your seniors. Like in your team, you have so much new things to learn, and apart from the work, we discuss really cool things like what is going on, and we have some good talks, and you get to see the office, their coffee making machine, the foosball, the thing. So I think these are some really cool things apart from your work.
Right. So, what kind of questions were you asked during your technical round? Like, what was your hiring procedure like?
Okay, so you're talking about Arcesium or any
Microsoft
specific
and
company?
Arcesium both.
Okay.
Microsoft and Arcesium both.
So, talking about Microsoft, it was through Engage program. So the path was completely different. Uh, in Microsoft, I firstly had to give a coding test to be selected in Microsoft Engage, and then after that, a 3 weeks program, a mentorship program was there, in which you have to make a project on the given problem statement. And based on that, you got shortlisted for the interviews. And then there were 3 interviews, which need to be cracked for getting Microsoft ultimately. So, but for Arcesium, there was a recruiter reached me via mail off campus. So she sent me the test link, and then after the test, I got shortlisted for the interviews. And then there were 2 interviews, no HR in specific, uh, in that company.
So, what kind of tech stack did you like get most questions out of? Which DSA did you feel like was the most prominent in your interviews?
Arrays for Arcesium, arrays, strings, a little bit of trees, and then some pattern making questions were there. Uh, so yeah, but in Microsoft, questions go up to the level of trees, graphs, and stacks. So you have to be really good in data structures when you are targeting Microsoft, I would say.
Right. I mean, I have worked on some these pattern-based questions, and they are really, like once you get one star wrong, it's really annoying. But once you get them all right, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, did you take part in any of your campus placements, and how was the experience?
Yeah, I took part in campus placement. So I got internship offer from American Express and full-time offer from United Health Group from on-campus placements. Uh, I think when we talk about on-campus placements, I would feel the process is quite easier as compared to the off-campus, because in off-campus you are competing with lakhs of students, but if not lakhs, at least thousands of students. But in on campus, it's just 1,000 or some 500 students. So the competition gets really cooled down when you are sitting on campus.
Right. I mean, yes, it's just your peers. You have worked with them for 4 years, so you know how much they know and how much you know. So, yeah. So, you were mentioning that a resume is what stands out in front of a committee of people who are, like taking your interviews. So, how important do you think a resume is, and how was your resume different from that of others? And also, could you give us some tips as to how to make our resumes good?
Resumes are really important. First of all, your resume has to be ATS friendly, because nowadays what companies do is they just pass through the ATS and they just parse your resume accordingly. But if it is not getting passed correctly, your selection won't be there. So make an ATS friendly resume, and then include your 2 3 good projects on your resume, some really good coding ratings, like on whatever competitive programming you do, like on code forces, code chef, you just put those ratings. And then you mention some tech stacks that you know or that you have learned in your college. That really stands out. But apart from this, one last tip that I would like to give is that whenever you are applying for any company, read the job description, and according to that job description, mention those keywords in your resume specific to that company's job description. That would really help you in getting the selection for further application process.
Right. So since I am also, like in this phase of finding internships, so how important do you think is a college internship? Like during the course of our fourth year, we don't usually do a lot of big internships. It's just a 2 to 3 months internship before the fourth year starts. So how important do you think that internship is? Like if in terms of getting work experience?
Personally, I didn't do 2 months internship. I directly did 6 months internship as my first work experience. So I would suggest 2 months internship or any prior internship experience before your 6 months internship is not necessary. No company has ever asked me that why didn't you do any internship. But if you do a 2 months internship, it's always a plus point, because if you do in a good company, you can get a PPO from there only, and you don't have to worry about placements as such. So, but it's not necessary. If you haven't grabbed any 2 months internship, don't worry. Just prepare for 6 months internship. It's not going to matter anyhow.
Right. So that's it for the questions that I have. Would you like to, like give a footnote to the audience who are watching this, who are preparing for the interviews and, like are in the middle of all that hustle?
Yeah, the final words I would like to give is start as early as possible. If you are in your first year, don't think you have enough time, because you never know that when second year, third year, and then fourth year comes, and then it's really difficult to hold the rope. Start as early as possible. Manage your time well, balance between the things, do your development, and then along with that, data structures and algorithms. Because nowadays I see there are a lot of opportunities for first and second year students as well, like Google Step Intern, we Sprint Scholarship. So for that, you have to start working from your first year itself. And then, yeah, I think balance between the things, make a good resume, be active on LinkedIn. So yeah, it would, I think these things would really help and eventually get you a good company.
Right. So uh, I have a question in the chat. Did you require anything related to finance when you were working as an analyst at Morgan Stanley?
No. If you're applying for a technology analyst role, then it only deals with your tech skills, nothing related to finance. When you join the company, they themselves teach you about finance a little bit according to their requirement, but beforehand, you don't need to know anything in specific.
Right. So I guess that's it for all the questions. It was great talking to you, Tanya. I mean, I have learned a lot from you, and I will keep in constant touch with you for all these, like opportunities, because I am the kind of person who once makes a connection, just follows up with that person in every possible condition. So thank you so much. Thank you for this informative session and for answering all of my questions. And I'm really sure everyone in the everyone in the audience also learned something. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Thanks, Funny.
Bye bye.
Bye.